So AE was C plus I plus C plus X minus M. We saw that framework had one problem. And that problem was that it never talked about price level. It didn't talk about inflation. Because if aggregate expenditure बढ़ता है, whenever aggregate expenditure goes up, we know aggregate expenditure and aggregate demand are the same thing. So when the aggregate expenditure goes up, there should be some impact on the price level. So in a way, our framework somehow isn't strong enough because it misses out on a very important component, which is basically your price level. And that's why when we move to ADAS framework, we notice the AD curve will have real GDP, which is the same thing as the older framework, but it also has price level. Remember, and we did this in AS, we said this that AD curve is downward sloping. When the price level goes down, your real GDP goes up. Do you remember the three reasons why it happens? Why is AD curve downward sloping? We talked about three reasons in our AS class, which I don't know if you remember it. One was your income effect. The income effect used to say this that when the price level goes down, your purchasing power goes up. And that's why your real income goes up, which makes you buy more. And firms may also invest more, which will cause the GDP to go up. So the first reason why when the purchasing power go down, real GDP go up, or in vice versa, here purchasing power price level goes up, price level goes up, your GDP falls because when the price level goes up, purchasing power goes down. So purchasing power is inversely related to your price level. And purchasing power, another name for purchasing power was value of money. So value of money is kind of like 1 over price level, right? When the price level goes up, value of money goes down. Yeah, so first effect was income effect. The second effect is exactly Ashfaq, is called our substitution effect. What was the substitution effect, guys? Substitution effect in macro was more about international sector, because when the price level goes, let's say, down, we said exports become cheaper, exports becomes cheaper, and for imports become expensive, become cheaper, imports become expensive, and that will make X minus M to go up, and therefore real GDP to go up. So when I move from, let's say, let's call this P0 and P1 and Y0 and Y1 just to stay with our discussion. When I go from A to B, when the price level goes down, real GDP goes up. Right? Because of substitution effect, we say is that exports will become cheaper, imports will become expensive. And why are exports becoming cheaper? Because domestic price level is going down, so it's become cheaper to make exports. Why are imports becoming expensive? Imports are becoming relatively expensive. They're not really becoming expensive per se, they're becoming relatively expensive relative to the domestic goods, which are now becoming cheaper. Make sense? Relative, because like domestic goods are now cheaper than imports. Import prices are, for example, same $10, but the domestic goods are cheaper, which makes import less attractive. Okay. Then there was a third effect, guys, which I want to talk about, which comes a lot in MCQs. It's called the interest rate effect. Interest rates. This, by the way, this used to come a lot in A2. Now AS में इसके MCQs ज़्यादा हो गए. Now MCQs in AS have gone up. Nonetheless, you will see some MCQs on downward sloping AD. What is the interest rate effect? Do you guys remember that? Let me explain that. The interest rate effect used to say this: if the price level goes down, right, you will have basically more purchasing power. So there will be what we call higher purchasing power. If there's a higher purchasing power, do you need to borrow as you used to before? Yeah. So can I say this? The demand for money falls because you don't need to borrow as much as you want to before. What's the price of money? Interest rates. So if you don't, demand for money falls, and I should write here, borrowing goes down, you will see interest rate to fall. And that fall in interest rate will do what? The cost of borrowing should go, cost of borrowing should go down. The incentive to save will go down, causing consumption to go up, investment to go up, and therefore your real GDP to go up. And guys, all these three things are what we call movement along the curve, because price went down, real GDP went down. It's not a shift of the curve, it's a movement along the curve. So a lower price level makes basically people to borrow less, and that basically means price of money or interest rate falls, causing us to have a higher GDP in the economy. Make sense? So these three reasons are what we call movement along the curve, why AD curve is downward sloping. Yeah, and AD, remember, is same thing. Our AD curve is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So AD and AE is the same thing. AD just have, when you plot AD, it's against price level. So AD shows you the relationship between price level and real GDP. Are we going to move on? Any questions, guys? Now, next is basically what will make AD shift. Okay, so let's write shift of the AD. Going to move on. We have to copy this. People at home, do we have any questions about this? Okay, guys, shift of the AD curve is basically any change in C, I, G, or X minus M for reasons not related to price level will cause AD to shift. Okay, what are the possible reasons why this could happen? Anyone? Can you guys tell me some of the reasons why AD can shift to the right? These are called, by the way, shift of AD curve is called demand shocks. People online, Ashfaq, anyone? AD can go to the right because of what? Okay, something more like a reason why C can go up or I can go up or G can go up. Any independent reason. Very good. Fall in direct taxes. Good job. Fall in direct taxes could cause disposable income to go up and therefore consumption to go up, and even like investment will go up if you're causing more or less taxes, and therefore AD shifts. Anything else? Subsidy is more like supply side factor. G goes up. I want to say G goes up. The government spending goes up. Let's say government decides to give a stimulus package in COVID, so AD go up. That could be one. Another factor. Very good. This is what I wanted to hear. So number one could be this. Number two could be G. Number three could be, yeah, business confidence could be one reason. Business or consumer confidence. Anything else? Interest rate. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So interest rates is a very important factor. Remember, this is called monetary policy. Interest rates go down, you will see AD to shift. TSM fashion is micro. Credit availability is also like it linked to interest rate more so. Guys, what about net exports? What about exchange rate going down? If exchange rate goes down, exports become cheaper, imports become expensive. So X minus M can go up, causing AD to go up. Yeah. So that's another factor. The reason why I'm going super fast in these factors is because I expect you guys to know falling exchange rate could do something like that. So amount of government expenditure, yes, G goes up. G goes up, AD goes up, interest rate goes down, AD goes up. And interest rate is a very important monetary policy. Taxes and government spending is fiscal policy. This is fiscal policy. 1 and 2 is fiscal policy. 4 is monetary policy, and 3 and 5 are different factors. Inflation has inflation means prices changing. This is a more inflation means movement along the curve. Lavin, we're talking about a shift of the curve. Same price level, yet you are demanding more. The whole economy is demanding more. Got it? Makes sense? So inflation is a movement along the curve, not a shift of the curve. Make sense? Are we good to move on? Yeah. So guys, what about aggregate supply curve? Let's move on to aggregate supply curve. When you look at the aggregate supply curve, so I just made a whole idea that, you know, just to make you understand that what would make AD curve shift more versus less depends also on the multiplier. The larger the size of the multiplier, the larger will be the shift of AD curve. Because look at this, let's say a investment went up, so GDP will go up from Y0 to Y1. If investment go up, AD curve will go from AD0 to AD1. This change in Y means how big is the multiplier. So a shift of AD curve, or let me write this, magnitude of the shift of the AD curve depends on magnitude of the shift of the AD curve depends on the multiplier. The larger the multiplier, of course, the larger will be the magnitude of shift, the size of the shift. Make sense, guys? Okay. Similarly, what about the cost? Aggregate supply curve. Aggregate supply curve, guys, on the other hand, is basically moving on. Is upward sloping. Yeah. So, and in aggregate supply, guys, by the way, we define short run versus long run. So we say this, that the short run is defined as the period. And I want you guys to write this or remember this, because we'll see an MCQ that comes on this, that short run is defined as the period when money, wage rates, and prices of all other factors are fixed. Okay. So when I draw my short run aggregate supply curve, the assumption is that the wage rate, money wage rate, and the prices of all other factors is fixed. So why is supply curve upward sloping? And the answer is if you want to increase output in the short run, right? If I want to expand output in the short run, I have two ways to do that. Number one, hire more workers, which means training cost, or make existing workers work overtime, which means, of course, higher costs. Both of these factors would mean when Y goes up, cost per unit may go up, which means price level has to go up to maintain profitability. So we say this, why does higher output lead to higher prices? Because the cost goes up, because either you need to retrain workers or train workers to do the task because you want to expand output, and or you want to maintain, or you want to basically make existing workers work overtime. Now, why do you move from A to B? Why do you move from A to B? Because somebody might have made the demand go up, right? If AD goes up, you don't really move because you want to produce more. You want to produce more. Because if AD goes up, why does price level go up? Because cost of production go up. In order to produce, meet that increased demand, you may need to either make existing workers work overtime or hire new workers. Both would mean cost of production will go up. And that explains why SRAS curve is upper sloping. More can be produced by incurring a slight increase in cost. Yes. So that slight increase in cost, Ashfaq, would mean slight increase in prices. By the way, slight could also be high. I mean, for example, let's say suddenly Cedar wants to hire a new teacher in the middle of the year, right? They may need to pay a higher price. Like in August, the hiring that we do in August is more like it's more expensive than hiring which you do from before. Why? Because when you do August hiring, you already have the kids, you've taken the kids, and now you're like, oh my God, I have 3 more batches of economics to teach, but I don't have teachers. So either you'll tell me or somebody else say, hey, why don't you teach a batch from 3 to 4? And I'll be like, that's so super inconvenient for me to teach. And then, like CJ is going to be like, how will we pay you better than rate for the inconvenience that you have from 3 to 4? Because you teach uh, you're teaching a 7th batch or whatever, you're super tired, and yet we can't do much about it. So they may pay me more. Got it? So do you guys get that? Does that make sense? So SRAS curve is upward sloping. And what can make the SRAS shift? I want to read this paragraph. This is a nice paragraph. So it is assumed that the firm's ability to hire or fire workers in the short run are limited. As a result, output can only be increased by making labor force work for longer hours or taking on extra worker, which is expensive process. And therefore, it implies that your cost may go up. So in the short run, an increase in output by firms is likely to lead to an increase in cost, which in turn will result in firms to raise prices. Make sense? Let's talk about the shift of the aggregate supply curve, which is called a supply shock. Do you remember from AS why the supply shock used to happen? Yeah, what was it? Sorry. So let's say this, any change in quantity or quality of factors of production slash or I should say or change in cost. Okay, then there could be various reasons why change in cost can happen, can result in AS to shift. Okay, so what are the factors? Let's talk about that, guys. This doesn't really now come in MCQs that much for A2 because you guys have moved on, but we need to know, revise this. Sometimes people ask us, okay, what do we need to know in A2 to do well in, what do we need to know of AS in A2? This is the stuff you may need to remember because we've done this in a AS class, but we may need to go over it again. But the long run discussion is different and more detailed. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So guys, what are the factors? Changes in input prices. So if input prices change, sorry guys. Yeah, if input prices change, for example, wage rate goes up, or for example, any input becomes expensive, that will make basically cost of production to go up. And therefore the aggregate supply curve to shift to the left or right, depending on wage rate going. If trade unions become powerful all over the country, aggregate supply curve will shift to the left. Wage rate goes up, cost of production will go up. Or if, for example, wage rates go down for some reason, then aggregate supply curve will shift to the right. Similarly, if productivity goes up, what will happen? Go to the AS curve will shift to the right because for the same wage you can get more out of workers. Make sense? So that's another one. Or for example, like oil becomes expensive in the global market can also be the reason. Or suddenly, for example, you have more workers coming in the labor market. It can only happen in the long run, but let's say short run, more workers come in the labor market. Let's say something happens in the US and Pakistanis come back to Pakistan, those who are working abroad. That would mean aggregate supply curve will go to the right also because now you have good high quality labor coming back. Discovery of new resources could also do that. Uh, However, normally we look at that from a long run perspective. So long run may this matters a lot. Quantity or quality of factors of production matter a lot in the long run. Having said that, the reason why I wrote this here is because even in the short run, you may see a shift of the aggregate supply curve to the right. Make sense? Are we good? Okay. Now tomorrow's discussion is all going to be about long-run aggregate supply curve, and this is a very important discussion because this is where the first time we'll see disagreement between classical economists and the Keynesian economists. And for A2, we need to know these disagreements when we're writing an argument because when it comes to policy, both set of economists like classical and monetarists, and in fact, even Keynesians have a different route to fixing the economy. That's why this discussion matters a lot. So that's what we want. Classical economics.